Now, after stealing a car in Longmont, Ryan Stone led police on a high-speed chase clear down to Douglas County. He allegedly stole several cars in the process.
Some become famous by being unjustly convicted, and others by their crazy attempts to escape from the police. Today, we will go over some of the most famous cases from various courtrooms and see why they got so much public attention.
Disclaimer.
On the other hand, car chases at 100 miles per hour, like the famed Ryan Stone case, might even be regarded as a little more insane. In Denver, Colorado, Ryan Stone is being prosecuted on several counts, one of which is attempted manslaughter. Ryan started a crime spree in March 2014 that spanned 5 counties and was covered live by a television station's helicopter. The actual chase was extremely disorganized. 2 vehicles are seen being forcibly taken by Stone, one of which contained a 4-year-old child. Authorities claim that Stone's escape sparked a high-speed chase by law officers that exceeded 100 miles per hour. If you look closely, you can see that Stone's car struck a Colorado State Patrol trooper. Trooper Balleman was struck by Stone's car while he was attempting to apply stop sticks. There were several shattered bones as a result of this tragedy. This was the tipping point for chaos. A few minutes afterward, the program would show Stone dragging someone else out of their car before he took off. Following Stone's carjacking, the chase turned into a foot pursuit when he crashed into the middle of an intersection.
Now, after stealing a car in Longmont, Ryan Stone led police on a high-speed chase clear down to Douglas County. He allegedly stole several cars in the process.
Stone ran into slick ice again in a parking lot, whereupon he lost his jacket. Before long, an immovable fence blocked his way. Stone eventually turned himself in as police began to close in on him. An exhausting 1.5 hours of morning rush hour were spent on the chase. Even though the situation was surprising, you had to wait to observe Ryan's actions throughout his trial. Despite being charged with several crimes, such as attempted manslaughter, first-degree assault, and child abuse, Ryan didn't seem to be fazed. Prosecutors, however, played recordings of Stone enjoying the pursuit and bragging about the attention he was receiving from all around the world via his phone call.
Hey, did you know I made the news in the UK and Australia? What? Yeah, my lawyer told me I made the news in the UK and Australia. If you type in Grand Theft Auto on YouTube, my shit comes up first. You're ridiculous.
Stone even said that people are usually paid by YouTube for films similar to this, and he announced that he will be contacting Channel 7 News to demand money.
You get paid by YouTube. So, Channel 7 News, I believe, is going to be the one that gets paid for that. Well, I'm going to contact Channel 7 News, or have you contact Channel 7 News or somebody, a lawyer. Tell me, hey, look, I want to get paid.
Ryan sobbed as he appeared before Douglas County District Judge Paul King, attributing his crimes to drug usage and pleading with the judge for a lighter sentence because he wanted to start a family with his wife.
I pray you leave me time to start a family of my own with my beautiful wife.
When the court saw the footage of Ryan boasting to a buddy about his popularity, their attempt at acting regretful in court did not go down well. The judge imposed an extraordinary term of 160 years in prison with a 75-year parole ban.
This guy is a menace, and he is gone from us now, and we are better for it.
But some cases, like the one involving Susan Marie Mellon, who was sentenced to an astounding 17 years in prison for a crime she didn't commit, went viral due to highly odd decisions. She was allegedly involved in the homeless man Richard Daley's brutal death. She was given a life sentence without the chance of parole when she was 42 years old. Here, she is seen pleading with a detective during an interrogation for the belief she is innocent and did not do the crimes she is charged with.
Anyway, are you sick, ill, or injured? Do you have any medical problems?
No, but I do.
Okay, I'm gonna book you. No, I'm not gonna believe. I'm talking homicide. A man was murdered. All right.
I wasn't murdered.
Okay, that's it.
Please believe me, I wasn't too bad.
Based on the testimony of an informant who was later revealed to be a persistent liar, Susan was convicted guilty.
I would never, from my heart and my soul, I would never let somebody do that to anybody. I didn't hate Rick. I would never let anybody do somebody I hated. I still You know, I had feelings for the man. He was good to me. He was good to me. He was good to my kids.
Susan insisted throughout her questioning that she was innocent and could never have committed a crime. But LAPD Detective Wynn didn't think she was telling the truth. She was so sure Susan had killed Rick, in fact, that she had already arrested Susan for murder before her interview had even ended. Susan prayed to God, believing she wouldn't be prosecuted for a homicide she didn't commit, as she had no one else to listen to her. After a span of 17 years, Susan, now 59 years old, is about to be cleared in a Torrance courtroom.
I believe, based on what I've read, that she's innocent. And for that reason, I think the criminal justice system failed. Conviction is overturned, and as to Ms. Mellon, the case is dismissed.
As mom gives her grandchild her first embrace, watch as she is overcome with joyous tears and a flood of emotions. She replied that she had always thought the truth would be out at some point.
I even wrote freedom on the bottom of my tennis shoes with a black marker because I believed I was going to be free.
She remained firm in her belief that she would one day be free. Now that day had finally arrived. She became ecstatic and even started dancing. Susan showed how important it is to forgive even one's enemies as she embraced her family and expressed her forgiveness to those who had wrongfully imprisoned her. Looking forward to it with great anticipation, she shared a McDonald's Happy Meal with her youngest daughter, remembering the day they were denied one because of her arrest.
God gave me strength in my 3 kids. If it wasn't for them, I would have never made it. He knows me already. Hi. Do it. Get excited.
Is that your first cell phone?
Yeah, I never had one. I don't even know how to turn it on. I was in prison, but freedom wasn't in me. I always felt like I was free in the inside.
Although they don't happen often, Susan Mellon isn't the only individual whose exoneration case gained widespread attention for the same reason. Regarding Daniel Villegas, he was incarcerated for 18 years for a double homicide that he did not commit. Daniel was found guilty at the tender age of 16 and has been incarcerated ever since. On April 10th, 1993, 2 people were walking home from a house party with Armando Mondo Lazo, then 17 years old, and Bobby England, then 18 years old, when a car slowed down and drove off. The car eventually stopped, according to witnesses, and circled around to face the gathering. Sadly, someone fired from the back seat, killing England and Lazo. Most likely, you are wondering how Daniel ended up as a suspect in the first place. It turns out that there was no tangible proof that connected Daniel to the crime. There was no firearm recovered, no DNA discovered, and no forensic evidence that even remotely connected him to the case. Based on the testimony of a buddy who said he confessed the crime to him, he was found guilty.
This was a reliable witness in 2014 who told the detectives. I asked him if he did it, and he said yes.
Villegas, 16, was brought in for questioning, and an El Paso cop threatened to beat him and put him to death if he did not confess to the crime. The young Villegas signed a pre-written confession from the cops under pressure. A few hours later, he tried to take back his confession, but it was too late. Villegas was charged with 2 counts of capital murder, with the false confession being the sole evidence against him. Villegas was released on bond following the final overturning of his 18-year sentence. At this time, he got married and began a family, but a third challenge lay ahead of him, one that would decide his fate. When the time came, Villegas was standing in the courtroom not knowing if he would be sent back to prison for life or if he would be allowed to go home to his family. Watch as the judge tells Daniel that his 18-year nightmare has finally come to an end.
We, the jury, find the defendant Daniel Villegas not guilty of...
He was genuinely freed for the first time since his teenage years when the El Paso jury ruled him not guilty of capital murder.
Mr. Villegas, you have been under many conditions in this court. You are no longer under any conditions in this court. You are free to leave. Good luck to you, sir.
Daniel spent 23 years, 6 months, and 11 days behind bars. This is Bass Webb, who is accused of trying to kill someone in Paris, Kentucky. A week earlier, Webb, a former prisoner serving a 3-month term for assault, attempted to run over 2 jail staff members with his car. The terrifying incident was caught on security footage outside a Kentucky jail. One of the workers barely escaped the car, but Webb's truck slammed others against the wall, injuring them. Even though Webb committed shocking crimes, you should only wait to see how he conducted himself in court. When Webb appeared in court for the first time, under the direction of Judge Vanessa Dixon, he continued to be disruptive.
Can you word your say?
Yeah.
That be yes?
Yes.
Judge Dixon notified Webb before the trial's continuation that she had withdrawn from the trial because she knew the targeted jail staff and because she didn't want to meet Webb at all, after which things got out of hand.
There's no way I'm going to try this case or have any further proceedings, or I have to see you for one further set. Set for the hearing next week.
Webb actually spits on the judge, disregarding the person who is in charge of your release from prison or your ongoing detention is not the wisest choice of action. Judge Dixon really gives the order to prosecute him right after she got spat on. But Bass's story didn't finish here. He and 4 other prisoners incited a riot at the Fayette County Detention Center shortly after this incident. While they were awaiting trial, Webb took a pepper ball to the neck and was shot with beanbag rounds during this violent incident. He continued to throw a metal phone box at a prison officer, unfazed. Let's fast forward to Bass's subsequent court appearance. This time, Bass is charged with 3rd-degree assault for his role in the riot, in addition to the 2 counts of attempted murder he was previously charged with in connection with his car attack on the jail staff. Nevertheless, you would be gravely mistaken if you believe that Bass Webb's story ended here. As we jump ahead 5 years, Bass finds himself in court once more. This time, he is charged with the murder of Bria Rooney, his ex-girlfriend from nearly 10 years prior. The victim's bones were discovered thanks to a jailhouse tip, which revived a cold case. In this specific court appearance, Webb unveiled a startling new look, complete with ominous head tattoos, a chilling murder hit list that targets law police, judges, prosecutors, and the media were made public by these tattoos. Webb's antique started at the same time as the courtroom procedures did.
You have found the defendant guilty of the offense of intentional murder.
The jury deliberated for more than a week before returning a decision that found Webb guilty of intentional murder. Details on how Webb killed his ex-girlfriend by strangulation and buried her in a shallow grave were revealed during the trial. Bass was sentenced to life in prison with a 25-year parole window. And if you want to see more questionable cops and insane arrests, click the next video on screen.